right.
Yeah. So with the thumbnail you see that I created, it has Oprah, has Beyonce, AOC, even Barack Obama, and what's his name? LeBron James. And like at first I thought it was like conspiracy theories and stuff like that with people doing signs like Jay-Z has the rock symbol and Beyonce does it because that's their record company or whatever. But then I started seeing like the OK sign or the little fox thing sign.
OK symbol.
And I was like, now I'm seeing it so much, I'm like, it can't be a coincidence. And I'm not like a conspiracy theory person. Well, some people might say I am, but I don't consider myself to be. It can't be a coincidence that all these people are doing these signs. And Cat Williams was on Club Shay Shay talking about like the Illuminati and how them doing the signs is letting you or letting people know that
they're part of the club or something.
And so the crazy thing is most of them aren't denied. No one has ever come out and denied it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Are you looking at me like I'm crazy?
No. I completely understand what you're saying.
It can't be a coincidence. How is everybody doing the sign? You look at the thumbnail.
Yeah, I seen it.
So even Beyonce, like who does this to take a picture? Most people do peace sign or peace, or smile.
Yeah, if you're in Japan,
or you're a regular. Hey, I'm not in Japan. I do the peace sign. Most people. No, or just a regular picture. Like, why do you have to put like signs in it? It can't be a coincidence.
It's like a public speaking gesture. Like when you're talking.
Look at the thumbnail that I put.
I seen it.
Oprah did it. Eddie Murphy, and it was like back in the day. Yeah. Some of those pictures are really old, like the 80s.
Right. Well, maybe it is part of a secret society. I don't know. But guys, welcome on into the stream. No, maybe it's not a coincidence. I don't know. That's what we're going to discuss. Guys, welcome on into the stream for our morning chat. Smash that like button. Your host T. This is my lovely wife Tasha, and today we are having our morning chat, and we are asking the question: would you sell your soul to the industry, or would you just sell your soul for fame?
For fame. Yeah, fame is being part of the industry. Right. Hollywood, La La Land. Mm-hmm. So many people want to be rich and famous.
Okay, yeah.
And it comes at a price.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people don't know that.
Most people don't, but now we're getting a glimpse into what's really going on because of social media, because of society now, where people are beginning to expose the industry. Mm-hmm. They're exposing these executives of what's been going on behind the scene. Back in the day, we thought Suge Knight and whatever was going on at Death Row was like the ultimate
craziness.
But literally, that was the tip of the iceberg, because Suge Knight forcing artists to sign over their royalties or their masters was nothing compared to what was really going on behind the scene. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. So y'all can leave your thoughts and your comments in the chat along with us. And once again, thank y'all so very much for hanging out with us this afternoon.
Yes. So there's been a lot going on talking about actually it starting very early in life where parents...
All right, well, wait. Before we even jump into this.
What?
Would you sell your soul for fame?
What kind of question is that? No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
That's... Okay, so... I would not sell my soul. Okay, I always think about the Charlie Daniels song.
Oh, yeah, The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
The Devil Went Down to Georgia. And as fun as that song is, and I be dancing, I always remember the lyrics. And I even said I was going to watch the documentary of Robert Johnson.
Okay, yeah.
Because, it's like an urban legend. Mm. But... when you hear about his story, they said Robert Johnson sucked. He could not play a guitar. Mm-hmm. He could not do anything. Right. And then all of a sudden he disappeared and came back and was like this genius at a guitar. And so a lot of times we hear about urban legends, and
it feels like it's rooted in the truth.
It feels like it's rooted in the truth.
Right. Okay.
And so with today's topic, because I feel like we have more knowledge now because of the internet, and things just can't be a coincidence. Even with the Rolling Stones song, what is it? Conversations with the Devil, or what is it called?
I can't remember.
The Rolling Stones song?
Yeah.
Sympathy for the Devil. And even with the Satanic Panic, I feel like it's rooted in the truth.
Okay. Something evil about the music industry, or the industry in general.
And like even with, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because all of this can't be a coincidence.
Right.
And so that's where I think I lost my footing.
Right.
But so like all of it's like, no. Oh, of course. I already answered the question.
Exactly.
No.
And then you just went on to.
But I'm just saying, like all of this stuff talking about like the devil and making like light of it and stuff like that.
Right.
None of this can be a coincidence.
Okay.
So no. Would you sell your soul
for fame and
money? Fame and money, because most people think, oh. That's all I need to know. Cause
well, I didn't say anything, but I mean, but anyway, guys.
So it depends on what you believe in.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't believe in an afterlife.
Yeah. Right.
So you think this is just all there is. Right. So it really don't matter.
Right. Yeah. And I think those are the people that are probably willing to do it. But guys, let us know down below in the comment section. What would you do?
It.
So
how much is your soul worth?
So we're gonna go ahead and jump into your thoughts on how this starts. And we were discussing this earlier this morning, and we were talking about how a lot of times it starts with children or your parents, or what we see in the industry, because we're talking about like personal feelings
like
about
child stars.
what people feel like they want to do as a child, because as a child everybody wants to be, many kids
want to be in the movies.
They want to be in the movies, or they want to be an actress or singer or whatever. But we also see what happens with parents when parents are willing to sacrifice their children to the music industry.
Not just the music, like
or
Hollywood.
to the industry, period. And we see it so many times where these child actors and actresses get put into these positions that they have no control over, and they end up doing things that is very bad for themselves. And so from there, what we're coming to find is that sometimes it's at fault of the parents. But then,
because you have to protect your kids.
That naturally you would think that that's your job, or a parent's job, to protect their child. But then sometimes we come to find out that these parents aren't protecting their children, because you're literally throwing them to the wolves. They're
extorting them,
exploiting them, things of that.
That's the word. Exploiting.
Things of that nature.
Yeah.
And so, it's so crazy, because now there's so many other there's all these documentaries out there. There was this situation with R. Kelly, and when I say that, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, as a parent, why would you let your child go and be alone with a grown man?
And all of this is allegedly.
Right. Well,
I mean, not the
R. Kelly situation. He's already been convicted.
Yeah.
But R. Kelly is just like a fish in a pool or a fish in a sea of other, predators that have been doing this.
Yeah, because, most kids who are talented, they can sing, they can dance, they want to be in the movies. The movies are cool, or I want to be a singer.
Yeah.
Being a singer is cool, and we've seen it with Beyonce and Destiny's Child. Like, they've been performing since they were children, and then realizing how long she's been with Jay-Z. I never thought of Beyonce as a child star, but initially a lot of them start off young. Britney Spears was a child actress. We see where she is now. She was exploited, still being exploited as an adult, and we seen her snap like in the early 2000s
yeah.
where she
shaved her head.
She had like this umbrella and beating paparazzi, but no one was there to protect her.
So that's something else that I kind of want to talk about, is that, you know, when you have your family that's close to you, such as your parents, a lot of times we see the mother or the father step up and they become the manager. And so even in those positions or roles, as a parent, you would expect them to protect that child. And then we come to find out that they're part of the tool that's being used to exploit their children.
Yeah.
And we see that so many times in the cases, like you said, of Britney Spears, or even Kim Kardashian's mother, who we didn't know had a hand in getting her sex tape out there and
to make money off of it. She said it was out there anyway, so make money.
So going forward from being a child into your teen years, what we've come to find is that a lot of these directors, producers, and executives, TV show executives, have been doing the same thing. Now, recently there has been an expose on Nickelodeon. This is like,
I love Nickelodeon.
Yeah, growing up watching Nickelodeon shows was like the greatest thing.
Yeah,
because they had they had the game shows, they had the slime, they had all the award shows. Yeah, they had the award show,
comedy for kids, like all that.
Yeah, and so when you're a kid, watching shows like MTV and Nickelodeon was like the pinnacle of your day.
Yeah.
And
you don't even make the connection.
And you don't make the connection at all. There was, like, for me growing up watching these shows, there was no sexual innuendos or any connections to anything negative that could be going on. But now we come to find,
you're
because
watching it as an adult.
Well, you watch it as an adult, but now we're coming to find a lot of these child actors and actresses saying that there were some really bad things that were going on behind the scene. And so there was a gentleman from Nickelodeon. What was his name?
Dan Snyder. He is not a gentleman.
Okay, yeah. Dan Snyder. Scumbag.
Man.
So something that now people are talking about with Nickelodeon, with the slime and everything, was that it wasn't really like slime. Well, I mean, it was slime, but what they were doing was they were simulating.
So a lot of if you go back and watch like all that clips, it had sexual innuendos in it. Right. There was a Disney movie called The Little Mermaid. And you told me about it.
Yeah. Well, the Disney animators were putting
phalluses.
Yeah, they were putting dicks in the animations.
Babe, we don't want this to be taken down. So please.
All right. So they were putting like fallacies in the animations in the background.
Yeah, and so all these little jokes, sexual jokes, and you're watching it as a kid, you don't get the jokes.
Right.
Because they're really exposing it on TikTok, where Dan Snyder had like the ejaculation jokes.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and watching it as an adult is super cringy. And I know some people might be like, oh, it's not that serious. But then when you realize what he was doing to these kids, like behind the scenes, like Amanda Bynes.
Right, a lot of them have traumatic and mental issues going on.
If you know Amanda Bynes and what she's going through now, she's on a road to recovery, to being clean. But she's gone through it. Yeah, and no wonder a lot of these kids were doing drugs, because they were trying to cope with things that happened to them as a child. Like even Justin Bieber.
Right.
You know, when you go back and watch the things that people said out loud about him, even like Katy Perry, grown women, or
how they were sexualizing him as grown women were, and you could tell in a lot of his interviews or situations he was like visibly uncomfortable. Right.
And it was like, where was his mom to like protect him? And then like even P Diddy, y'all, it's his turn now. Right. We thought, what's that fat guy name? Who the producer? He's Oprah friend.
I don't know.
He's Stein something Weinstein.
Weinstein. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we thought he was bad. P. Diddy just as bad. Plus, you know.
I mean, well, the list goes on because there's tons and tons of predators out there that we're coming to find behind the scenes that have been doing these things, and now they're being exposed. And so I think, you know, we talked about how children are introduced into this world.
And they're innocent. They're thinking like,
right.
I'm gonna be on TV. I'm gonna sing my song,
and that's gonna be
and
that.
that's gonna be it.
And even going into the teen and young adult years, it's the same way because we see so many music artists that are so hungry to break into the scene, and then they come to find that when they meet up with executives or producers,
you gotta pay the toll.
Yeah, you gotta pay the toll
with your soul.
If you want to hit record, if you want to hit song, if you want to make it, you got to do this, or you have to do some kind of favor. And then we see it in Hollywood. We see it with actors. If you want to act in this movie, you got to do this, do that. And so,
and maybe that's why they keep using the same actors over and over again, because only a certain amount of actors are willing to do those things.
Or you've paid your toll tenfold over. You know,
I'm sure they're still paying.
And so, I think that it leads into adulthood, to where we're seeing grown adults being exploited, or grown adults now talking about abuse that they've suffered throughout the years, and that they were afraid to say something, and now they're speaking out about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, as a viewer or somebody on the outside who has followed a director, producer, or music executive person for many years, and you've seen them in a good light, when you start hearing these the negative things about them, it's hard to believe. And
because you put them on a pedestal.
Because you put them on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And then eventually it gets to the point of where it's like, oh my God, like you might see one person and you're like, 2 people, okay, this is 3 people, 4 people, 10 people, and you're like, oh shit, you know, like this can't be. I mean, this, you know, this person or these people can't all be lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's where we're at now. It's like, I believe in the situation with P. Diddy, Cassie opened up the door, and as soon as she did, there were like
the floodgates.
The floodgates opened up.
And I think a lot of people were scared because people have come up unalived, allegedly, because of P. Diddy. And I think that we're just going to see more and more because, unfortunately, it goes even deeper, like even into the church. Like some mega churches and...
What?
Yes. So, have you ever wondered why you seen like T.D. Jakes with Puff Daddy? Because T.D. Jakes was going to like some of his parties.
Oh, okay. You're talking about like people who are associated, and then them probably being associated in like the same group.
No, they friends.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
What?
Like the Illuminati group and stuff. So you're saying T.D. Jakes, he's like part of that
I'm saying allegedly, like, I think it goes deeper because then, like, say for instance, why do pastors need a jet?
So they can spread the gospel. Why
do you need a Bentley?
So you can spread the gospel in style.
Why? And it becomes unlike the church. Like the church is even getting secular. Like there was a TikTok I did where there was this church and they were trying to bring souls to Jesus through hip hop music, club music, swag and surf.
Right. Yeah.
And they were playing club music in order to get people to come to the church. And it really had. I've always felt like, with a lot of mega churches, because I've gone to some mega churches as a child, and you know, because we went to Eddie Long's church, and like the amount of money that you're giving and it's not going to the right places, and then who they associate with. Like whenever a celebrity came to the church, it was all this hoopla, and it's like, everybody's supposed to be treated equally. This is not Jesus-like. And like throughout the years, it's just gotten worse where you see, why is T.D. Jakes hanging out with Puff Daddy? Is he bringing his soul to the Lord, or is it vice versa? And there are a lot of rumors going on. It has been silenced for now, but all the mess that is going on, I feel like a lot of people aren't as godly as they pretend to be.
Right.
And it's deeper than we think.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I think. And I think a lot of people have sold their soul, and people are blind to it.
Right.
You know, they're blinded by the money. They're blinded by the things that they might want. Right. You know.
Well, I mean, and
like even regular people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's easy to get blinded by material things and the things that you want, especially when people throw money in front of your face. And this is why we ask the question: would you sell your soul for fame and fortune? And a lot of times people say no. And they're like, no, I wouldn't do it, and da-da-da-da.
But in reality, it's like when you have the money in front of your face, would you turn it down?
Yeah, when the money is in front of your face, you know, it's a different story. And
for some people.
For some people. We see that so many
But not for me.
Right.
Not for me. You know, because, like, so I remember I was, like, in the 4th grade, and this might be getting off topic, but children have discernment. Mm-hmm. Let me just say that, more than adults or anything like that. And I remember when we were going to New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. That's where Eddie Long was. And I remember my first day. I would never forget it. And one of my friends from school, he was sitting in front of me. Everybody was clapping their hands and, you know, doing all this kind of stuff. And I was just sitting there like, looking like this. And he turned around. He was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't like it here."
Right.
And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know. I will never forget." And I remember telling my mom, "I don't want to go here." And so New Birth, for me, as a child, I couldn't put my finger on it. But there were so many wrong things about it. It felt like people were concerned about the wrong things, like what you had on, what kind of car you drove, all those things, and being really flashy. Right. But I couldn't pinpoint that as a child. I know just something in my spirit didn't feel right in that church. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until like 15 years later that all those things were
and stuff start coming out,
exposed. Right. And tithing money was used to fund trips for his lovers and stuff like that. And it makes me think, like, the people who are exposing their, you know, because I told my mom I didn't want to go there, but guess what? We still went anyway. Right. And and that's not saying that she should have listened to me or whatever, but maybe the parents of these children think they're doing the right things for their child and setting them up for like a better future. Right. And they don't know that they're exposing them to like evil people.
And I think that's the case with a lot of these situations where you have parents who are,
they want the best.
Yeah, genuinely want the best for their child. And they're ignorant on the industry or what's going on behind the scenes. And they want to trust the musician or celebrity or entertainer that there is handling their child. Yeah. But as you said, there is a certain level of discernment that people should use, and parents should listen to their children when they say something like, "Hey, mommy, I think this person makes me feel uncomfortable," or "I don't want to go here and do this anymore." Yeah.
And it's like, well, you don't know nothing. I'm the adult. Well, yeah. You know, because sometimes it's like children act like little know-it-alls and stuff of that nature. But
this is it. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, like even allegedly, Usher had a situation with Puff Daddy as well because he was a child star. His mother allowed him to live with Puff Daddy for a while, And Usher even said he's seen some crazy things.
Right, exactly.
And to leave your children in the hands of somebody else, and you hope for the best because maybe you think, I would have wanted somebody to do this for me when I was a child so I can grow up rich and famous. And all you're thinking about is money, fame, and an easier life for your child.
Right, yeah.
You know, but then later you come to find out, like, your trust was betrayed and you can't take it back. It's too late.
Right.
You know, and then there's some parents who don't care.
Right. Yes, exactly.
You know.
Right. And that's something that we see a lot of.
Yeah. Right. So, which struggle do you want? You know, the eternal struggle of losing your soul or a struggle on earth. Right. Like, you know, you might not have the nice car or the fancy clothes or all the money in the bank. And you live a regular life. Right. Can you be okay with that? Right. You know?
I can be okay with that. Yeah.
You think so? Because it seemed like you were struggling a little bit earlier.
Absolutely.
You get that $8 million contract, what you gonna do? Right. You gonna sign over in blood?
I mean, well, that's the thing. They don't want the music industry. They don't want blood, and they don't want your soul either. They want other stuff.
That's part of your soul. That's part of your soul.
But guys, let us know what you would do. Let us know. I mean, they want other stuff I can't say on the camera because.
Anyway. That's part of like giving yourself away. You laughing, but I mean, in order to do things that you don't want to do, it is taking pieces of yourself. Yeah. And so we see a lot of times where people might overdose on drugs because of the things that they've done,
covering up trauma,
and they're trying to numb themselves from those things. Right. So it is taking up part of your soul.
Right, I agree, and that's like the repercussions of falling for that kind of stuff. We see a lot of celebrities, and that was something that always kind of fascinated me when I was younger. I was like, why are so many celebrities, musicians, and people that were in the industry or whatever so hooked on drugs or alcoholics and all that other stuff? And now we're coming to find out these are the reasons why people are covering up their trauma. They're masking a lot of stuff that was going on behind the scenes that was that was hidden from us, but now being exposed. So this is a good thing because going forward, I think that there's going to be a little bit more transparency as far as what's going on, because if something happens to somebody and they don't like, they're going to run to social media and put that person on blast.
Well, it might not be as easy because even people like, what's that other guy who had that island?
Epstein.
He was like blackmailing celebrities and things like that. So it might you don't know what's really going on to where I don't think everybody's gonna run to social media and be like, this person did that, because it might not work out the way you think it is. Because like even people like Lizzo, we haven't heard anything since. Like, money shuts things down. Like,
it does.
She allegedly was doing things to her dancers that people felt that was inappropriate, and she somewhat denied it, but and those people spoke out, but now we haven't heard anything. Right. So
well, I only say that there's going to be more transparency only because with social media, with the way things are going with technology and the access to information, it's just going to be widely more accessible. And even now, when people are going through, we see it now in the job market or with companies, corporations in general. When somebody has a bad experience and it's a legitimate bad experience, say, for instance, at Burger King or something, the first thing they do is go to social media. Mm-hmm. And even the other day, we were going out to get some wings, and you were like, oh, I don't want to eat here because I saw this video on how this particular location of this thing, how they operate on the inside, and it makes me not want to work here. And I think that's going to be the same thing. I didn't say
work there.
No, I'm
said
saying
work.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean work, but you was like, I don't want to eat there because we saw that video on how they operate, and it was like, yo, we don't want to hear.
I think the solution is the internet. The solution is starting a YouTube channel. If you have talent, you can be a TikTok star, you could be a YouTube star. You've seen like people like Tom McDonald or even Mr. Beast, mm-hmm. or like Maya, the singer, who is now like, she's her own artist because of what happened to her in the past. Right. Like, you can create an online presence for yourself without going through the record industry, without going through Hollywood. And I really feel like that's why people like Tom McDonald was like, I'm not on the billboards because they're trying to stop me. Right. It makes sense because they want you to be a little puppet. They want you to do what they want you to do. Okay. But now the internet has opened the doors where you can do it yourself. You have control over yourself without right. selling your soul. And even, just putting your talent out there on the internet is the way to go. Now, Justin Bieber, he did it, but then his mom, they got with Usher and all of them, so he can be like a huge star. Right. Exactly. But now you see what happened to him. He was having like problems and people were saying stuff about him. Right. Stay on the internet.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting, and we are in a weird space right now at this time period and day and age.
Safer on the internet.
Only because social media stars want to blow up on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, only to get a record deal. Or
I don't think all of them.
No, not all of them, but a vast majority of people still believe in that. They still believe in the traditional ways, but people, they want to be famous online so that they can be a Hollywood actor, mm-hmm. or join the industry. No. And so, but this is what makes it weird. People want to blow up on social media or on YouTube so that they can be an actor or a big media personality. But then we're also seeing how people who are already established, big media personalities, are joining social media in order to be a social media star.
So they can take their lives back, really.
And
to be control over their money, because when you're in Hollywood and you have a manager, right. and you have this, you have that. Like Taraji Henson, she was talking about it, how she has to pay her makeup artist, she has to pay her manager, she has to pay all these right. people before she even gets the money. And so she has to live a certain way, mm-hmm. and people who are famous aren't as rich as you think they are. Right. And so, the internet is the best way to go. Right.
But I think in the cases of celebrities who are already established, they're doing it for relevance, mm-hmm. so that they can remain relevant. Yeah. And that relates back to Taraji, and getting money.
Take your soul back.
So, guys, let us know in the comment section. What would you do?
Would you get your soul back if you sell it to the devil? You think you can get it back?
Yeah, you can just ask God for it back. I'm sure he'll
But
give
God
it to
don't
you.
have it. See, and some people,
What do you mean you don't have it? He can get it back. It's God. Like, what the heck?
But you made a deal.
Deal don't mean nothing to God. He's all powerful.
A deal don't mean nothing.
He's all powerful.
So you can repent and get your.
I'm not a Christian or anything, but as far as I know, it said God, he can do anything. So if you're like,
just gotta repent.
Yeah, it's like, yo, God, I messed up. Can you get my soul back?
But what if you gotta give all the money back then?
Fine, yeah. You gotta give up all the money. T.
Oh, is that God's voice? Oh.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
And you put yourself in a situation, so you will sell your soul.
Man, get out of here. Guys, let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What would you do? Would you sell your soul for fame and fortune?
No, don't do it.
Anyway, we're getting up out of here. Thank y'all so very much for hanging out with us.
Talk about it some more.
Like, share, and subscribe. We'll see y'all.